Hello, everybody. Greetings and welcome to Future Ready Friday. Let me go ahead and just put myself on the screen. Hi. I'm going to wait for a few minutes while folks join. Happy Friday. Super excited to see you guys today. My beautiful, nice camera, the one that's up there, is not working today, so we're having technical difficulties, but I'm going to be using this one. Today is all about Microsoft 365. I mean, we're going to be kicking off this session. This episode is kicking off a series of episodes about Microsoft 365, and the inspiration for this is, Bonnie Lowe Kramen and I deliver our Be the Ultimate Assistant workshop, and at the beginning of the workshop, we send out a text survey to find out what our attendees are using in the workplace. And a lot of people have a combination of technologies, Microsoft technologies, Google Workspace, and other third-party tools. And so I want to spend this time over the next few episodes to walk through specifically what apps you have for Microsoft 365. This is the perfect series for those of you that are just now starting out in the workplace. Those of you who have been using Microsoft 365 for a while and want to fill in your knowledge gaps. Any students that maybe have been working in Google Workspace in high school, but now are using Microsoft 365 at the university, and anyone, a business user that's been using Google Workspace and that's now using Microsoft 365. Or maybe you're considering using Microsoft 365, so this is a great series for you. My intention today is specifically for the basic productivity apps, and that's Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. I want to share with you how you can create, number one, and access your files, your Word, Excel, and PowerPoint files in the web, on the desktop, and as well as on your mobile device. I want to share with you this something that happened a few years ago. I've been using Microsoft 365 since 2009, and I can't even do the math. Was that 15 years ago? And I want to share with you something that happened with one of my clients. They actually moved from Outlook to Gmail because they wanted to be able to access Outlook. I wanted to be able to access email on their mobile device. They didn't know that you could do that using Microsoft 365. So I want to educate everybody on all the things that we can do with Microsoft 365, because we're paying for the subscription. You have an amazing set of apps available to you. So first, I'm going to go ahead and share with you what you can do with Microsoft 365 apps, what we're going to be doing today. I'll go ahead and share my screen. And let me go ahead and do this guy here. So today we're going to create a document on the web as well as on your mobile device and desktop. I'm going to show you how you can save to OneDrive, open on another platform. So let's say you create the document in the browser, but then you want to open it up on the desktop or on your mobile device. I want to show you how to rename the file even when it's open. I'll show you how to pin files, mark them as favorites, find a pinned or favorite file, open a file on multiple devices, meaning I want to have the Word document open on my browser, but also maybe see it on my phone as well. So I can be in the same document at the same time. We'll also see how you can share and collaborate with others so that you're collaborating within the same document, and view changes made within a document so you can see what people have done in the document while you were collaborating, and also look at previous versions and restore previous versions. So that's just all with the basic apps, and I'll show you a few other tips, including naming conventions for your files. We'll have a separate episode about OneDrive and SharePoint and Teams and file storage, as well as all the other apps within Microsoft 365. So let me go ahead and share my office.com. If you've been training with me, learning with me, you know that we have a fictitious employee named Luca, and I'm going to be signed in as Luca. So he is our employee, our fictitious employee, and I want to show you his Microsoft 365 account. So the way you get here is you type in myoffice.com, and it will actually, I think it redirects to Microsoft 365. I just saw it up there, but I just go to office.com. You can go to office.com. You're going to log in with your work or school account up here. There'll be an avatar here, and I am going to show you how you can update your Microsoft 365 profile and the reason why you will do that. So let's take a look around and see what we have available to us. And then Gwenda, stop me if you need to connect with me at all. I'll look at the private chat. I have that going right now if you need to chat with me. So thanks for having my back on the back end of this. Okay, so this is office.com, and the first thing I'm going to show you how to do if you need to zoom in or zoom out of this view. So anytime you're in a browser, and as well as Teams, you can do this as well. You can do Control plus to zoom in. Let me do Control plus to zoom in if you need everything to be bigger, and then Control minus to zoom out. It would be Command minus and Command plus on a Mac if you're using a Mac laptop. So and I could do Control 0 to get it 100%. So if you had done Control plus, and then Control 0 will get you back to 100%. So up here in the top right-hand corner, if you're new to 365 and you don't have the desktop apps for Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, then you can install the Microsoft 365 apps here. In the middle is going to be the recommended files, and these are, it'll tell you why these are up here. So for Luca, it shows that I shared this with Luca recently. I also was in this document, so we are collaborating in this Excel file. Luca frequently opens up this particular PowerPoint, and it shows that he recently opened this. If you happen to be, like right now, I'm sharing Luca's office.com. So if you're sharing something with your team on Teams or Zoom, and you have something that's sensitive in nature, you can click on the ellipsis here, and then you can say remove from list. So if I didn't want you to see this particular file, then I could say remove from list, and it will be removed from that list if I'm sharing my screen. If you're the only one looking at this view, then it's okay for all those files to be there. When I look up down here, this is my quick access. These are going to be your recently opened or accessed files. And these are all filters right here. And so I can say all recently opened, anything that I opened, anything that is shared, and it will actually tell you how it was shared. So Vicki shared this with me, with Luca, and Vicki edited this. It says Luca shared this file. Luca edited this. This is actually a shared file with somebody else. I also have favorites, so favorites here. Any of these files, when you click on the ellipses here, you can say favorite or unfavorite. So if I go back to all and I click on the ellipsis here, you can say favorite. So if the KPI brainstorm is a favorite one, I can click favorite, and then this will be now listed my favorites. Luca also created a filter here, any files opened by a certain person. So anything opened by Vicki, and then also a tag. So let me show you how to create these filters here. When you click on a plus sign here, you can do it by type. So you can say, I want to see all my PowerPoint. I can say location. Maybe you want to see all the attachments that were sent to him. Let me go ahead and do attachments and see if there's any files that were attachments. Okay, so he doesn't have any. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that filter. And I could say shared by, so I could say shared by Gwenda, owned by Gwenda, and then tags. So here I can say owned by Gwenda here. And then if Gwenda shared any files with Luca, then he would see them here. To tag a file, if I go back to all and I click here, I can say here, tag, and I can create tags. So this is Future Ready Friday. This is Microsoft Productivity Workshop, and I can create a new tag here. So like maybe Academy, and I'm going to do red and say create new tag. So now I have, so this one's marked as an Academy tag, and then I could create a new filter here. Okay, so that's how I can manage the files that I'm in and out of and that I'm sharing. And then I want to go over here to the apps launcher. Now, I talked about Microsoft 365 and the series of episodes we're going to be having about the various apps. So this is the apps launcher at the very top. More apps. I'm going to show you all the apps that you have. And it's interesting to see when we do the tech survey, a lot of times, people don't know that you have this app called Microsoft Forms. So a lot of people might have Google Forms or SurveyMonkey because they don't realize that they have Microsoft Forms as a free app within Microsoft 365. So if I wanted to show you all these apps, I'm going to do Control minus just so you can see all the incredible apps that you have. And then you have categories up here that you can filter and see the apps based on that filter. So if you want to look at the communication apps, these are all things that you have available to you as a subscriber for Microsoft 365. And we'll be covering a lot of them over this series of episodes. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to come up here to the apps launcher, and I'm going to go ahead and go over to OneDrive for a second. We'll have a whole episode about OneDrive. But when you go to OneDrive, this also is all your files that you have available. Again, if you're looking for, I want to see my PowerPoint files or Excel files, go to OneDrive, and then you can see your recent Word documents, Excel, PowerPoint, PDFs, and then more options here. Over on the left, you see My Files, and then this is where Lucas saves all of his files, and then any shared files. And you have shared with you anytime someone has shared a file with you. So these are all files that Gwenda and Vicky and Braden and other team members have shared with Luca. So instead of having to go back to somebody and say, hey, Vicky, instead of Lucas saying, hey, Vicky, could you resend the file? What I would do is go to OneDrive, go to shared and shared with you, and you can see that here. You can also filter and see all the PowerPoint. So if he's looking for a PowerPoint that Vicky shared with him, go shared with you, PowerPoint, and then he can see those files really easily. I want to come back over to the apps launcher. If you need to go back to Microsoft 365, this is the home. This is right here. And I can go home here. And you can see that it's opening up new tabs as I open each of these applications. Now what I want to do is I want to show you the when you're creating Word apps, like a Word document. So I'm going to go ahead and create a Word document here. Hi, Denise. And so Denise is saying live is not showing on YouTube. So Gwenda, give me a thumbs up that you are looking into that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. Awesome, cool. Okay, so here is this is Word. So I'm using Word in the browser. And I'm a huge fan of the desktop app. So when I launch Word, I like being in the desktop versus in the browser. But I wanted to show you that Luca can sign in to any browser, whether it's on his laptop, whether at a family member's home, at a hotel, if he's using the shared computer, maybe at FedEx office, he wants to print something, he can log into office.com and access any files that he needs and work on them. So you just want to be sure that you, A, have a very secure password, and B, that you log out of a shared computer if you're not using your own computer. So we'll talk about passwords in just a second. What I want to do here is I want to create a document. So if I create a blank document here, and the way you can tell that you're in the browser is that you'll always have that URL at the very top. And I know a lot of times people get confused because it doesn't look like the desktop app. One of the things you can do, we covered this in the new Outlook in episode 1 and 2, is the ribbon interface. So when you're using the browser apps, you're always going to see a simplified ribbon. And what you'll do is you'll come over here to this caret, this drop down, and you're going to say classic ribbon if you need to view the classic ribbon. And so this allows me to see more of the commands that I'm used to. Now, the desktop apps will have more commands than the browser-based app, but this allows you, it's the light version. The browser-based apps are the lighter versions of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So you can do just basic work within the browser, similar to Google Docs. And then you also have the ability of going up to here to editing, and you can open in desktop if you need to open in desktop, which I typically do. Here I want to, let's say I'm going to save this file. This is a test file for my project. Okay. And at the very top, when you're working in a browser, this right here is where you name the document. So this is a test document for project work. I'm just making it up and I'm going to hit enter. And then I have the name of the document. I can also click here and see when I click on the file, this little cloud, it tells me exactly where this document is being stored. And I have these breadcrumbs right here. So I can actually click on documents and it will launch my OneDrive and exactly the location where that file is. So here's the test document for the project work. So I can go back here. If I didn't like the name of this file, so I'm going to change the name, I can come up here and say project test document. Right there. Okay, so I went ahead and did this. Now I'm logged in as Luca in the browser, but my Word, my desktop app, so I'm now going to the desktop version of Word, and I want you to see that my avatar at the very top, I'm signed in as me. So I want to make sure I know that I'm going to be switching between two avatars, between Luca and Vicky. So because I can't launch the desktop version of Word for Luca because I'm signed in as Vicky, I want to show you how you can rename a file in the desktop view. So I'm in my document that I have for Luca, and you'll notice at the top it says Luca's first 90 days. So I'm going to change this to 90-day plan for Luca. And it is in, you can see the location where I'm storing it in and so on. So I'm going to rename it. So I don't have to actually close my files if I want to rename something. So just go to the very top. So in the desktop view, you're going to go into the middle of the title bar. And then when you're in the browser, you're going to go up here to the left. Okay. And that's how you rename the files. So now what I'm going to do is this is now auto-saving. As I'm working in this file, it is auto-saving my changes. So I'm going to type just a random, let me just use Copilot. So I actually have Copilot, and I need a template for a 30-day project plan. Let's see if Copilot will create this. I'm just creating dummy content here. Perfect. Now in the Academy, we're doing a lot of Copilot classes. This is not a Copilot session today. I just needed some basic content, some changes here. Okay, perfect. So this is my file. Now what I'm going to do, you'll notice that it's being saved. So it says it's saved. I want to talk about version history. And when I come over here to File and Version History, so I come over here to Version History, you can see that I have two different versions. So I have the current version. When I click on this, this gives me the current version. Okay, it's supposed to have all that project stuff in there. Maybe I'm too fast. Okay, I'm going to have to wait for a second. Let me do this one here. Let me go back to this Word document. I'm just too quick for the version history. So this document, I've been creating it all day this morning. So I do want to go to version history. When you're in the desktop view, you'll come over here to the drop down where the title of the document is and click version history. So you can see that I created the first version at 9:36 this morning. I also then renamed it, and this is the current version. So the very top one listed here is our current version of the document. If I needed to go back to the original version, I am going to click here, and what will happen is it's going to open up a second document. So this is the version I had at 9:36. Let me go back to, let me go ahead and close this. So it opens, so I had my original version here, and then when I said, I had my current version here. When I said I wanted to go to the original version, it opened up a second document and it had that yellow bar. So that's why I knew I could close that file. Let me go ahead and 90-day plan. Let's call this Q4 2024. So I just want to add this here, and I'm going to put Vicki Evans here. And it's going to auto save, so it's saving it right now. And I'm gonna wait a little bit. Let me go back to the online version and see if I can see a difference between the versions for Luca real quick. So we'll come back to this. It might need some time. So I'll go back here and let's check out this version history. So under File, it used to be here. I used to be able to go here and do the file version history. Now it's down here. And let's say current version. Perfect. Okay, so here's the current version. It finally updated it. It propagated the file. And then 5 minutes ago, this is what the file looked like. Modified and rename. Should say that. I think it's because I'm doing it too soon. So here, now, if I decided I needed to, I didn't mean to make these changes, you can say save a copy and it would save a separate copy. And then you can revert back to the previous version. So that is an option. Let me go back to the desktop version for this 90-day plan and see if it made any changes here in version history. Okay, so renamed. Okay, so this is showing me what I changed in this one. And then this one, this was my original. And then this was another original. So yeah, these are at the same time. So 936, 1048, and then the current version. Show edits on or off. I like to show edits. So let's say I want to revert to this. I want to restore this version. I would simply hit restore. And then I'm back to this particular version. And you can also go to view and switch windows to make sure you don't have the multiple windows. In fact, let me show you how it creates the multiple windows. Let me go back to an original version. You'll see that yellow bar, and then I'm going to go to view, switch windows, and then here you can see that it's two different files. Okay, so that way you're confident you can just simply close this extra version and close that. So you don't need to do file save as version 1, file save as version 2, file save as version 3. It's automatically going to create those extra the version history for you. I also want to show you, let me go back to, I'm going to close this guy, and I want to go back to the home. Let me go back to home, and there's that project test document when I go back to office.com. And I'm going to click on the ellipsis and see if I can go to file location, add to open, and I'm going to go open file location. And I'll go down here, project test document, click on the ellipsis. And once you go to the file location, you're going to get a series of commands, and you can also access the version history here. So we'll talk more about that when we do OneDrive. Now, when I go to, I'm now going to get on here because I want to show you in Word what this looks like. I'm logged in as Luca, and you can see the project test document here. I'm just in the Word. Let me go back here. So these are my 365 apps. Your homework assignment is to download Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneDrive, all of these apps here. And when I click on the Word app, I now see this Word document. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up this Word document. Can't open file. I may have been moved. Okay, let me do. Okay, now it's opening. Okay, well, now it's giving me trouble. It's saying it can't open the file because I'm logged in as Vicki and Luke at the same time. So normally, if you're logged in yourself, you can definitely open up the Word files, and we can both be in at the same time. I'm going to do this time, I'm going to do the 90-day plan. So Vicki is going to share a document with Luca so you can see this. So from this desktop, I'm in the desktop. I can tell I'm in the desktop because I don't have the URL. And then I'm going to click on share up here. Make sure with the settings down here. So when you hit share, be careful not to share. You'll want to, if I just left this setting, so notice that my default setting says everyone in the Red Cape company can see this. So I want to make sure I say people I choose, and they can edit. Click apply, and then I'm going to share this with Luca. and then I would typically write a message and then hit send. So now I have my Word document, and I'm going to go to Luca's office. So if I go home, click on the apps launcher, and then I'm going to click Outlook. Okay, Vicki shared 90-day plan for Luca with you. This is Luca's email. I'm going to do Control-0 to make sure I am seeing it 100%. Looks like I am. I'm going to click on Open. So he's going to be working in the browser because I need to be working in my desktop app. So what I'm going to do is Luca's going to be on the left side of my screen, and then I'm going to be on the right side of my screen. So I'm going to do Windows left arrow to position that on the left side of my screen. And then Vicki is going to work in the desktop app. Luca's in the browser, Vicki's in the desktop. So building a foundation for success. And I'm going to make a change here. Future Ready Friday. And as I make changes here on the right side on the desktop app, he can now see the changes here. I can see that he's in this document because I see Luca up here. So you can't hide. If you're in someone's document or someone's in your document, they'll be able to see that. So if I maximize this one, he should be able to see that I'm here. So this is Luca, this is his avatar, and he sees that I'm here. If Gwenda was in the document, other folks were in the document, then we would see all those folks in this document editing at the same time. Same thing with my phone. Let me see, I should be able to now do the 90-day plan. Yes, so here on the phone, now let me do this, I'll make sure I'll get back. So here's on the phone, I can see that I'm logged in and I can make changes. You see that edit button at the very top. I can make simple changes in this Word document. And then the ellipsis would allow me to share, save a copy, send a copy, export, and make sure it's available offline so that if I'm working on the plane, I can actually work on this document. So I know we're over the 30-minute mark. I want to go back to home and just refresh and show you what he now sees in the home screen. So in office.com, 90-day plan for Luca, project test document. You can see them up here under recommended. It'll show up in OneDrive items that were shared. So, and then I want to talk about pinned files. So here's the 90-day plan for Luca. Let's say he wants to favorite this. So he wants to favorite this document. So I can click on favorite, and then here are his favorites. So if he wants to mark that as a favorite, he'll see that here. Let me go into Excel for him. And let's go over to Excel. And I want to show you, Luca and I have been collaborating in an Excel file. And so he has this file called 2024 Project Tracker. So I click here and look at the project tracker. And again, he can go back in and look at the version history. And I believe in Excel, we have a drop down here. There's version history. And if he clicks on version history, he can see multiple version histories over here. So here, show edits. And you can see where my edits are. So I made the changes to that. However, let me go back to document. If I go to review, show changes in Excel, both in the browser as well as a desktop app, he can see that Vicki changed this. So when I click here, I changed it from category 1 to category 6. When I look here, I changed this from category 2 to category 5. When I look here, I changed this from category 1 to category 3. So you can see someone's changes in those files. That's what I wanted to share with you. Let me go ahead and look back at the PowerPoint. I think that's all I wanted to do. Perfect. Now I want to talk about naming conventions because I just met with a client about this. If you are managing meetings and you want to name your files or folders based on the date, I'm going to show you the difference between the alpha month, day, and year, numeric month, day, and year, and numeric year, month, and day. And I'll show you these two. So let's start with the alpha month, day, and year. This is what people typically rename name their files. They will name it April 8th, 2025 meeting, April 9th, 2024 meeting, February 11th, 2025 meeting. So what a lot of people do is they'll start with a month, with an alpha month. And what that does, it doesn't put it in date order, it puts it in alphabetical order. So I would recommend staying away from using the alpha version of the month, because April is going to be sorted before February. You see A's, F, J, January, June, March. It's scrambled because it's alphabetized. Additionally, you'll notice that, let's say these board meetings happen on the second Tuesday of every month. You'll notice that the second Tuesday in April in 2025 is April 8th. The second Tuesday in 2024 in April is the 9th. So this one is sorted above this one here because it's the 8th and 9th. So that is going to cause problems when you're trying to sort your meetings. If you do the numeric month day year, so if you do 01, that will work if one folder is managing all just 1 year. So, but if you have all your years combined, you'll notice January 9th, 2024, January 14th, 2025, and then January 2026 meeting would be all the January meetings year over year will be alphabetized first or sorted first, and then all the February meetings year over year, all the March meetings year over year. So you'd have to create separate year folders for that. Or another way you can do it is you start with the year. So start with 2024, 4-digit year, dash, and then the month, and then the day. That way, all the 2024 meetings will be together by month and then day. All the 2025 meetings will be together by month and then day. What we do is we don't do 4-digit years and we don't do the dashes. So what we do is, instead of doing 2020 year February 22nd or 2021 November 9th, we only use 8 characters. So we drop the first 2 characters, first 2 numbers of the year. So this is 2020 February 22nd, 2021 November 09. Or if it's a multi-day event, we typically do 2022 September 21 through 23. Kelly says, yes, you've been doing that since 2000. Perfect. So you can see, like, anyone on my team, if they're looking for sample files, the PowerPoint presentation, the receipts from travel, the anything involving a particular delivery, like today's delivery would be 24/10/25. And so anyone in our company can look for those assets based on a date like that. So so stay away from the alpha version of the dates. Definitely use the numeric version. So here's your homework. What I want you to do is download the mobile apps to your phone. There's a Microsoft 365 app, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. I definitely want to make sure that when you log into office.com that you are using a secure password. So make sure it's at least 13 characters. You're using uppercase, lowercase, symbols, and numbers. And make sure that password is not being used for anything else. Create a secure password for office.com. Make sure you log out of office.com if you're using a shared computer. Practice creating docs on the web, mobile, and desktop. Pin your favorite files, view changes in a document. Just go to view changes, view version history, restore previous version. The only thing I want to show you really quickly, another homework assignment, is I want you to, I want to show you something. Let's say Luca is looking, let's say I'm looking for someone in our company that knows how to play the guitar. We're going to have an event. We want to do a house band. So do we have any employees that know how to play guitar? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to the search and I'm going to type guitar and hit enter, and then click people here. And I notice that 2 people within our organization plays guitar. So, and apparently Luca plays guitar. And the way that you can do that is, the way that this is done is that these employees have filled out their Microsoft 365 profile. So another homework assignment is for you to go over to your avatar, go to your Microsoft 365 profile, and click on Update Profile here, that button there. And then what I want you to do is I want you to go in and I want you to share information about yourself that you want your colleagues to know. If there's any projects that you worked on in the last 10 years or you're working on now, it's really important for people to know who worked on that legacy project in case they need your expertise in that area. Here's also skills and expertise. He says he's fluent in Spanish, fluent in Russian, hosting lunch and learns, Excel pivot tables, expense reports. He loves doing expense reports. Schools and school education, interest, TikTok videos, singing, and so on. So I would really encourage you, as well as everyone around you, to complete your Microsoft 365 profile so you can leverage the assets, amazing expertise that you have in your organization. And all of this is free. And you can then show your other colleagues how to search for resources when you're within the org. So that's also part of your homework assignment. And I'm opening up, I'd love to, if there's anyone Q&A. Gwenda, do we have any questions at all?
I have been following our threads, Vicki, and I don't see any at this point.
Okay, cool. My hope is that this particular episode can be used for your new hires. So anybody that is joining your company that needs to know how to use office.com, especially interns, anyone just now graduating college, this is their first job, anyone new to your organization, would be great to watch this episode. That's what these series of episodes are going to be for. One of the episodes we're going to be doing is task management and project management, and we'll be creating an onboarding plan using Planner. And so this will be part of that task and that scenario. So thank you guys so much for joining us. So appreciate you following us on Future Ready Friday, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks, Glenda, and thanks everybody. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Cheers.